I forgave my brother for years of betrayal, covered his debts, believed family meant loyalty, but when I was in trouble, he refused to even answer my calls. Family meant something to me. It meant showing up, no matter what. It meant second chances, third chances, infinite chances if that's what love required. Mom drilled that into us before she died. You two only have each other now. Take care of your brother. So I did. For 15 years, I took care of Danny. The first time he stole from me, he was 19 and desperate. $50 from my wallet to buy groceries, he said, but I knew it was drugs. I didn't say anything. The second time, it was my credit card for emergency car repairs that turned into a weekend in Vegas. I canceled the card and told him we needed to talk about boundaries. I know I messed up, he said, and he looked so much like the scared kid from the thunderstorms that I believed him. I'm trying to get clean. I just need time. Time. That was always Danny's currency. He needed time to figure things out, time to get his life together, time to become the person he promised he was underneath all the chaos. And I gave him time, over and over, because that's what big brothers do. I covered his rent when he got evicted. 6 months of payments while he looked for work that somehow never materialized. I paid his court fees when he got arrested for possession. I co-signed a loan for a car he totaled 3 weeks later, then kept making payments so my credit wouldn't tank. Every time, he swore it was the last time. Every time, I believed him because I needed to believe him. You're enabling him, my girlfriend Sarah said after I bailed him out for the third time. This isn't helping anyone. But Sarah didn't understand. She had parents who called on her birthday, siblings who showed up to family dinners without agenda. She didn't know what it felt like to be someone's only lifeline, their last chance at staying connected to anything good. Danny would disappear for months, then resurface with stories about new jobs, new girlfriends, new starts. He'd seem different, cleaner, more focused, full of plans that almost sounded realistic. We'd have dinner at the diner near my apartment, and for a few hours, I'd get my brother back. The one who remembered inside jokes from childhood, who asked about my work, who seemed genuinely sorry for all the chaos. I'm getting my shit together this time, he'd say. For real. I know I've said it before, but this is different. I can feel it. And I'd want so badly for it to be true that I'd ignore the fidgeting, the way his eyes never quite met mine, the phone calls that interrupted our conversations that he'd step outside to take. The pattern was always the same. Things would be good for a few weeks, maybe a month. Danny would text me pictures of his new apartment, his work schedule, even a photo with a girl he was dating who looked wholesome and hopeful. Then the calls would start again. Small emergencies at first, a speeding ticket, a temporary cash flow problem, just enough to help him until payday. Payday never seemed to come. Last year was the worst. Danny showed up at my door at 2 a.m., bleeding from a fight and owing money to people who didn't negotiate payment plans. He needed $5,000 and a place to hide until he could figure out how to leave town. They're going to kill me, he said, and I could see he wasn't exaggerating. I know I've asked for a lot, but this is life or death. You're all I have. I emptied my savings account. Again. I let him stay on my couch for 2 months while Sarah slowly packed her things and moved out. I can't watch you destroy yourself for someone who doesn't care if you live or die, she said. He's going to take everything from you, and you're going to let him. But she was wrong about Danny not caring. He did care, when he needed something. He'd call me his hero, his lifesaver, the only person who never gave up on him. He'd promised to pay me back, promised to get clean, promised to be the brother I deserved. And for a while, he did get clean. 6 months of sobriety, regular check-ins, even a steady job at a warehouse across town. He moved into his own place, started talking about maybe going back to school. I felt vindicated. All those years of faith, all that money, all those chances, they'd finally paid off. I owe you everything, he said over dinner one night. I know I can't pay back all the money right away, but I'm going to make this right. You saved my life. 2 weeks later, he was gone. Disappeared from his apartment, quit his job, stopped answering his phone. I didn't hear from him for 4 months. When the call finally came, I was almost relieved. At least I'd know he was alive. But this time, I was the one who needed saving. My cancer diagnosis came on a Tuesday. Stage 3, aggressive, requiring immediate surgery and months of chemotherapy. The doctor used words like treatable and good prognosis, but all I heard was the sound of my life rearranging itself around something I couldn't control. I sat in my car in the hospital parking lot and made a list of people to call. My boss, to arrange medical leave. My insurance company, to understand my coverage. My father, who'd been distant since mom died but deserved to know. And Danny, my little brother, the only family I'd fought for and protected and never given up on. He'd want to know. He'd want to help. After everything I'd done for him, this was his chance to be there for me. The call went straight to voicemail. I tried again the next day, and the next. Left messages explaining the situation, asking him to call me back, telling him I could use some support. Nothing. I found him on social media. He'd changed his number but not his Instagram. Photos of him in a new city, new apartment, new girlfriend. He looked healthy, happy, like someone who'd finally gotten his life together. The captions were all about fresh starts and leaving the past behind and focusing on positive energy. I sent him a direct message. Danny, I have cancer. I'm having surgery next week. Please call me. The message showed as read. No response. Surgery was harder than expected. Complications, infections, a recovery that stretched weeks instead of days. I spent my 34th birthday in a hospital bed, eating cafeteria cake and watching nurses change shifts. My dad visited once, awkward and uncomfortable, bringing flowers and staying exactly 20 minutes. A few work friends stopped by with cards and concerned smiles. But no Danny. Chemotherapy turned me into someone I didn't recognize. The hair loss I'd expected, but not the bone-deep exhaustion, the nausea that lasted for days, the way my body stopped feeling like mine. I moved back in with my dad temporarily because I couldn't manage my apartment alone. He'd make dinner and we'd watch TV in silence, both of us thinking about Mom and how she would have handled this better. I kept trying to reach Danny. Called from different numbers in case he was screening mine. Messaged mutual friends asking them to tell him to contact me. Even reached out to his ex-girlfriend who'd stayed in touch, asking her to let him know I needed him. He said he's focusing on staying clean and can't deal with family drama right now, she told me. I tried to explain that you're sick, but he said he has to protect his sobriety. Family drama. 15 years of being his safety net, and my cancer was family drama. The worst part of chemo wasn't the physical pain, it was the silence where Danny's voice should have been. Sitting in that chair for 6 hours at a time, watching poison drip into my veins to kill the thing trying to kill me, I had nothing but time to think about how thoroughly I'd misunderstood our relationship. I thought I was saving him, but really I'd been enabling him to take everything while giving nothing back. I'd confused his desperation for gratitude, his promises for commitment. I'd built a relationship where I was always the giver and he was always the taker, and I'd somehow convinced myself that was love. 6 months after my diagnosis, I finally got a text from Danny. Not asking about my health or apologizing for his absence. Just, hey, things have been crazy. Hope you're doing well. Can we talk sometime? I stared at that message for hours. Can we talk sometime wasn't how are you? Or I'm sorry I disappeared or I heard you were sick and I should have been there. It was the same opening he'd used 100 times before when he needed something. I deleted the message without responding. 3 months later, he called. I was in remission by then, hair growing back in strange cowlicks, learning to trust my body again. The number was blocked, but I recognized his voice immediately. I know you're probably mad, he started, and that's as far as I let him get before I hung up. He called back immediately. I let it ring. He called 17 more times that day. I turned off my phone. The final message came through email. I don't know what's wrong with you lately, but this silent treatment is really immature. I'm trying to reach out and you're being completely unreasonable. I know I haven't been perfect, but family is supposed to forgive each other. Mom would be disappointed in how you're acting. Mom would be disappointed in me for not answering his calls after he ignored my cancer diagnosis for 9 months. That's when I finally understood. Danny had never seen me as a brother. I'd been a resource. A bank account with emotional ties, a safety net with a pulse. When I needed him to be human instead of a transaction, he didn't know how. The version of my brother who climbed into my bed during thunderstorms was real. But so was the man who heard cancer and thought drama. Both could be true at the same time, and I'd spent 15 years pretending only the first one mattered. I'm 2 years cancer-free now. I have a new apartment, a new relationship with someone who shows up without being asked. I've learned to make friends who understand that support goes both ways, that love isn't measured by how much you can give but by how much someone is willing to give back. I don't check Danny's social media anymore. I don't wonder if he's clean or housed or happy. I don't calculate how much money I'll never see again or imagine scenarios where he finally apologizes. Some people aren't capable of the love you give them. Some people will take everything you offer and still walk away when you need them most. Learning that cost me 15 years and almost cost me my life. But at least I finally learned it.